I'm Barbara Mullen. I live in Columbia. I've moved here in 1990 from Virginia. My husband had recently died, and I had 3 sons, and my family was in this area, so I came back here to be close to my family to get support as I was making that transition into being a single mother. Wow, well, Columbia's home. I love living in Columbia. I love the opportunities that are here. There's so many social and political activities going on all the time that I could have something going on every night of the week and be, you know, busy and happy and satisfied. Beside that, I'm a Lady Gamecock basketball fan. Wow, what does it mean to me to be a woman? You know, I've really thought about some of the questions you have related to the woman aspect of it. I'm going to divert a little bit. I grew up in probably a unique family for my era because I was born in 1940, and my daddy did the laundry. My daddy did the grocery shopping because my mother had a career. So I've never had any strong feelings about female and male roles because I grew up in a family where that was not a strong distinction. And it was true in my marriage, and now it's true in my son's marriages. So for me, it's more about the human story than the gender story or the race story. I'm content being a woman. I can't identify any particular times in my life where I felt like that was a handicap. I think women have a lot of power and a lot of influence. Sometimes it's not recognized. I remember one time meeting a gentleman from one of the islands who said, you know, the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck. Have you ever seen the head go anywhere the neck doesn't allow? So I think women have always been very important and very influential, and now maybe are just beginning to come more into their fore than have been historically. Ego. Testosterone. Women don't need it. I don't think women need it the way men do. I think women are content, and I'm speaking in generalities, of course, everybody's different, but generally women are not that self-consumed, and it's not that important to them that they get the recognition as it is. Whatever it is they're trying to accomplish is more important than their own person. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm reflecting my own feelings, I guess. Wow. For me, life is about making a difference. If you have had any impact on making a difference in someone else's life, then you've been successful. It has nothing to do with recognition or fame or money or whatever. It has to do with making a difference. I hope when I leave this world, somebody can say I made a difference. You know what? My elementary school teacher was a polio victim, and she was very crippled. This would have been in the 40s now, and she was a single woman, and I didn't know very many single women, especially, I can't remember that I knew any other than her growing up, but she was a very strong, very secure, important person in the little town where I grew up, near here in Leesville. So I think that I hadn't even thought about that before. She probably was an important model for me at that time. I was an educator. I have to honestly say I didn't love being in the classroom. Discipline was always a challenge for me. I love the kids, but I'm an introvert, and I really think you need to be an extrovert to love being a class school teacher. But I ended my career at Midlands Tech, and I worked there for a grant program that was student services, assisting students who were first-generation college students. Their family had no history of college, and I felt like I really helped some of these students, especially women, make changes in their lives that were going to make changes in their children's lives. I think there's a great fault in our culture. because without our educational system, we would be nothing. We would be nothing. I think it's the core of everything that happens. And I think we see movements around the world, especially where we see girls and women being educated and understanding this changes the family and then it changes the village. But it's education that is the crux of all that happening. So, and again, I think that people go in, even men. I have a son who's been an educator, and he didn't go into that to make money or be a quote success. He wanted to make a difference in people's lives, and you don't do that to get recognition. You do that because you care about your world that you live in, your environment, and your community. The Friendship is part of a national village movement. It started in Beacon Hill, Boston 15 years ago, and is based on the concept that if it takes a village to raise a child, then it takes a village to take care of old people like me. That especially in our culture today with the aging population and the rapidity is it's growing so rapidly. Then we're living longer, we're living healthier. I'll get on my little spiel. When you retire at 65 now, you still have 20, 25, 30 years ahead of you to be viable and to be an impact in your community. And that didn't used to be true. That has really changed very rapidly in the last decade. And so I'm one of those folks that I'm single. I have a median income. If I wanted to move to a retirement center, which I don't have the means to do that. I don't have that kind of income. However, I'm not eligible to live in a subsidized housing facility. I have too much income to be eligible for government assistance. So I'm one of those people that falls in the gap. And so the Friendship is a volunteer-based, membership-driven support system to help people, quote, age in place. So it allows people to stay in their homes where people are happier and healthier as they age, rather than being forced into making a decision to move into assisted living. We bring volunteers. The volunteers help people do the things that they can't do in order to stay in their own homes. The primary thing is transportation. That's the line in the sand. Often once you can no longer drive, then you don't have any choice. You can't stay at home. You can't get to the doctor. You can't buy your groceries. You can't get to the pharmacy to get your medications. And so you feel forced to move into assisted living. But with the Friendship, our volunteers will take you. Tuesday, I'm taking a lady to get her hair cut. Take you to the doctor. Take you to, as I said, to pick up your groceries, and for a minimal fee. There is a fee for the membership, but it doesn't cover the cost of the program. One of the biggest things about aging, especially those of us that live alone, is socialization. We have a new member in the Friendship that I met last week who has been housebound since the 80s. And she used to be able to take her walker and go down the street, and now she can't even do that. She's very limited. She's not in a wheelchair. She can manage a walker, but she can't walk long distances. She spends, most of her time alone in that house. So we provide a lot of social opportunities as well. We have a coffee every month. We have a lunch. Go out together for lunch every month. We have programs. This past month, on Valentine's Day, we had a program called What It Means to Marry Into a Southern Family, and talked about food and funerals and silver and the things that are kind of unique to the Southern culture. Just a chance to get together and interact and get out of the house. I can tell you lots of stories of members that we have that without us, they would really be, several that have no families. They're really alone in the world, and one of them in particular, her doctor said, you need to join the Friendship because we got to get you out of that house. And her best friend just died, so she's really hungry for relationships, and she was at our lunch that we had this month and was just so thrilled to have a reason to, you know, get dressed and go out and be socially with some people in a common environment.